Hey guys, welcome back to Core 4. My name's Chris, and I'm here with Danny.
Hi there.
And today we're doing something a little bit different. As you can probably tell already, there's no video game on the screen.
What? No video game?
I know. I know Core 4 gaming without gaming? What is
No,
this?
I subscribed for the video games.
Don't unsubscribe yet.
Hold on 1 second.
Wait.
Stop!
Alright, so what this is a thing that me and Danny, or Danny and I to you,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how grammar works. Either way, I guess.
and you won't, and that's something you'll see on this a lot.
Yes.
So this is something we've talked about before, wanting to do a sort of podcast, as you can tell in some of our past videos, like Jump Force, and the most recent GTA debacle where we tore Skyrim apart.
Yeah,
not in a mean way, but like in a...
but check out that video if you want more context.
Yeah.
That one was kind of like the pilot episode to what this will become.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was an unintentional jumping off point. It kind of sold what we kind of wanted to actually do.
Yeah.
And so we'll put links to those videos in the description down below, so you get an idea of what exactly it is that we end up doing.
Exactly.
Most of the times that we hang out in our entire friendship of several years.
Yeah. What, like, going on to 4 years this year?
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man. So yeah, this is going to be a podcast series that we're going to do over time. We're still working out like the scheduling for it and kind of how we're like the release and everything. So bear with us on that. But yeah, so this is going to be something we talk about different things. But Danny, what exactly are we focusing on in these podcasts going forward?
So essentially what we want to do is, well, because in our entire friendship, we've realized there's a lot of things that me and Chris can talk on and on and on about for hours on end. It can be video games, it can be the people in our lives, it can be movies, it can be our own experiences. So what we've decided is that we're going to pick a topic, we will discuss about it, and we'll just kind of let the conversation kind of flow from then on out. So you may see a specific episode with a specific title and whatnot, and that may be what we start with, but that might not be what we end with, hence Spiral Offcast. So now the way we're going to kind of have it work is that for certain episodes, we'll do just any general topic. It could be a video game, it could be something like modern, kind of something like, you know, like a topic of right now or something, or it could just be very something general, like a movie genre or something. But for other episodes like this one that you are watching right now,
Yes.
We are gonna have anime specific episodes because anime is a really big thing to me and Chris. We have watched many shows, and there are many more that we want to watch. So we are dedicating a whole subclass of episodes for this podcast to anime. So we'll kind of switch it off. So for this one, it's going to be an anime focused podcast. Next time we'll do a more general one, and then just kind of go back and forth with it.
Yeah, and also if you shout out at us over on our Core 4 Twitter or Instagram, which those links will also be in the description below this, let us know some stuff that you would probably want us to talk about.
Yeah,
some stuff that we might not think of, or
anything's on the table, honestly. I mean, like anime and everything like that, but then also just like general stuff. Like I don't know, I wouldn't mind talking, like, especially if it's something video games. Like, we're pretty passionate about that. Yeah. No, it's anything's on the table. Let us know in the comments.
Exactly. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media.
Yeah.
We're everywhere. And we're here for you.
As always.
Yeah, so this is the official first episode of this Spiral Offcast.
Here we go. Months in the making.
Woo!
We don't have to infect our channel episodes anymore with our long ass conversations.
That's right. We can just spill out here. You guys can listen for however long these end up being. Just, if you're at work or on the train or on the bus or on a plane, you're just listening.
Or, you're staying safe at home and you need something to listen to in your many hours of free time. Here we are. Hello.
There it is.
Welcome to the cast.
Yeah, just put this on, shrink the window. Then, go do something.
Clean the house, clean your room, organize the shelves. Organize those shelves. You've been needing to organize them.
Yeah,
not calling you out, but you've needed to. And now is the time.
I mean, how are you going to have so many pop figures up there and not going to dust them off?
See, now you're calling me out. Like, you're literally calling me out now.
I'm calling myself out. Do you not see?
You don't have guys at home. You have statues of cool anime people and then Kratos from God of War. I have pop figures.
Pop figures, for the record, are way easier to clean than those are.
I mean, yeah, kind of true. Some of the ones that you have, like that naked anime girl over there, it's probably hard to get.
That is not part of my collection. That is a lie.
And they'll never know because there's no visual.
No.
Am I lying or am I calling Chris out? Who knows?
Let us know in the comments below. What do you believe? Oh, wow. Not even... Episode 1.
Oh my god, okay.
Okay, so
let's...
just as a flat introduction in case some of you guys who are watching this one are watching this video as the first ever on this channel for somehow. And that's fine. But so what it is I am Chris, and I am here with Danny. And
hi there.
We are part of the Core 4 Gaming squad.
Yes, there's 4 of us on that squad, and we just kind of mess around and play video games. They can be games that have come out recently, games that came out a while ago, some of our favorite ones. Sometimes they're demos of games we just thought would look cool. So we just kind of play around with it. So if this is the first time you're seeing our channel or you're hearing our voices, go ahead and check out those other videos. We've made some really fun, amazing videos that we're really proud of. I mean, we're proud of all of them, but there's definitely some heavy hitter ones that we are all...
Some ones that just, spiral off into nonsense and just gets chaotic. Just naming off some top ones. The Mario Party.
Oh, Mario Party, so good.
Watch those. That gets, crazy.
Goomba Squad.
Goomba Squad, where we
Goomba Squad.
And then you got, what was it, the Mortal Kombat tournament?
That... We have to revisit the tournament for sure.
Of course, that was a nuts video. Go check that out. That was actually a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. We had a great, ridiculous time making that video.
Yeah.
And then you check Jackie and I did Overcooked, and Jackie literally couldn't breathe because she was laughing so much. And I forgot, Jackie is one of the other of the 4 of us. So it is Danny, me, Jackie, and Eric.
Yes.
We are the Core 4.
Core 4. Boom, boom. So, yeah, check out the channel if you're just finding us. Please, we are happy to have you guys here. Thank you for checking us out. So, yeah, go ahead and check out our other videos as well.
Yeah, and Danny and I got some crazy ones, both coming up and in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus is our most recent... crazy playthrough.
Our crazy adventure.
Right, and aggro.
We, me and Chris have also done, well, I won't spoil the ones coming up, but the ones that we have done in the past, we did Journey, my favorite game.
That's right, Danny's favorite game.
My favorite game. That is one I would absolutely recommend. It's another example of me and Chris spiraling off in conversation and whatnot.
Yes. So actually, good point. We'll put that one down below too.
Yeah.
Example number 3.
There you go. But yeah, check us out. And
we did some ridiculous, and if you don't watch them, that's fine, because I get it. We did some ridiculous ridiculous ASMR videos.
Oh my
because
God.
we kind of had a moment of like, this would be hilariously like sarcastic.
Yeah.
And so we did.
It was a trilogy, right?
Of course, it was a trilogy. We did Tetris.
Tetris was the first
which
one.
was like prime time.
Yeah.
Then
We did Star Wars. Me and Eric did Star Wars.
yeah, they did Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
And then Jackie and I did Jump Force, which ended up being like an ASMR podcast because we talked about anime, but we did it in an ASMR way.
That's really
It was
funny.
very strange, but it was great. Which brings me up again, another good video on this channel, and I feel like we're just pumping out our own content at this point. But it's good.
I'm sorry that we're shouting out our content on our podcast that goes up on our channel. Yeah, we really sold out on ourselves this one.
Oh my god! I'm just saying, Rocket League. Go check
Yes.
it out. That's all I'm gonna say. Rocket League and physics. Go do
Physics. Let me tell you about physics.
it. Let me tell you about physics. It's
Okay.
fucking hilarious. So
Go
that
check all those out. Obviously after the cast. Don't just leave the cast.
Wait, don't leave it. Don't even.
Don't
pause
you
it.
leave. Don't leave yet.
No, you haven't. You're here with us now.
Yeah. Look at me. I am the captain now.
So yeah, that's a little bit of background about Danny and I as far as this channel is concerned. We've been friends for, like, as we had mentioned earlier,
Going on 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
We met each other way back in the day when we worked at a movie theater together.
Yeah, shout out to Regal Cinemas.
That's right.
That we worked at a Regal movie theater, and you know what? You got the job done. It was fine. But yeah, no, we met there and we have been friends ever since. We've been through thick and thin, through highs and lows, through hell and back.
Yep.
And you know what? It's all good because now we're here. We got fun YouTube videos, and now we're doing a podcast.
That's right.
Where we just babble on.
and the clicking point that like started our friendship at Regal was actually D&D.
Well, actually, technically,
that was like the big one.
Technically, it was Star Wars because you gave me a ride in my car and you had Star Wars shit, and I was like, "Oh, you like Star Wars?" And that was like we were talking about Star Wars for a while.
Oh, yes. And then we committed heresy.
Yes, and then D&D came very shortly after that one.
Yep. And you're like, you play D&D? And I'm like, yeah. You're like, I like D&D.
I was like, I love D&D, and you were like, what? What is this?
What are you? And so yeah, so that sums up kind of what to
It's everything you need to know and everything you can expect.
Diving into this. So thank you for sticking with us so far. And without further ado, we're going to segue into today's glorious topic.
Yes, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns.
Cute Skrillex remake of the Mulan soundtrack.
No. Oh my god.
So
We were making jokes about Skrillex, by the way. If that, I'm sure it's probably not going to go into the cast right away or something, but we were making jokes about Skrillex, and we're like just Skrillex remakes of different various songs.
yes, and not making fun of the man himself, but
Not the man, just the music in general, because it's just so like it's so iconic, and it was definitely the flavor of the early 2010s.
right. It is a relic of time for what music is and was, and I'm sure still popular.
Yes.
But anyway, we're not here to
That's
talk
not the
about
topic.
Skrillex.
That's not the topic today.
Yeah, so if you don't leave because we're not talking about Skrillex. All right, like trust me, we get it. Skrillex, leaving him behind.
Yes. Goodbye, Skrillex.
Danny, what are we talking about today? What is the big episode 01 gonna be?
So we are talking about My Hero Academia. For those of you who didn't watch our Jump Force episode, specifically the one with me and Chris playing, basically My Hero Academia is my favorite anime. It is one of my favorite animes of all time that I've ever watched. I love Academia. And in our Jump Force video, we went on this long tangent about me explaining why Academia is so great, because Chris hasn't seen it. Chris hadn't seen it at that point. And Slowly but surely, since then, Chris has been like flirting with the idea of watching My Hero Academia.
I had my shields up, and they've slowly been worn down.
Right, yeah. Right down to the point, there is one scene, not really one, well, kind of one scene out of context from from season 2 that caught Chris's attention, and at that point, I knew, I was like, it's inevitable now. I've got you now.
He's weak.
So we wanted to do this podcast, and the first thing we wanted to do was, when we were talking about anime, was that let's talk about My Hero Academia. So,
'cause that's like Danny's #1 anime right now.
it is. I mean, it's not on the air right now. It finished its 4th season. Which, by the way, for the sake of background and everything, I am completely caught up. I have watched all the way through season 4, so I know everything that happens.
He knows everything.
I haven't read the manga. That's the only thing, is that I don't know where the manga is out. But that's on purpose. I love the anime, and it's been following the manga pretty well to my understanding. So, no manga spoilers, but I have caught up with the anime. So for Chris.
And as a precursor,
Yes.
we will let you know if we get into spoiler territory in this podcast before we actually talk about spoilers.
Yes, absolutely.
For those of you who are debating on watching it or are currently starting it and may have not reached the point that we will end up discussing.
Right. And I mean, so I gave Chris a set of episodes. So it's going to be season 1. I gave him through episodes 1 through 7. So I gave him those specific ones because, one, they didn't really spoil anything too major for the show. I think it's right before, well, okay, it introduces the main characters, and introduces a few of the main conflicts, but it's right before one of the big conflicts for the overall show. So I wanted to just kind of get Chris to basically be introduced to the gist of the show, the action of the show, the characters, the dynamics. Everything's kind of established in those first 7 episodes. So that's what I gave Chris. Chris has watched through those episodes.
Yes.
And so we're going to discuss it. And for the sake of clarity as well, I recently rewatched all of season 1 just to be prepared for this discussion, so that way me and Chris could have a somewhat intelligible conversation, and it wouldn't just be Chris asking questions and me being like, I don't remember that.
It's like, what do you think about this in the background that was happening while this was happening?
And I'm like,
you're like, the credits?
Exactly. So,
But-
I have rewatched it. Chris has watched it up to here. So yeah, let's, I think we should just get down to it then.
Yes, let's crack into it. For the record, okay, before we get into that, just quick. So I had attempted to watch this show before. Mm-hmm. I had watched the first episode, and I then stopped because it was so different and jarring that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna actually be able to watch this show all the way or anything. And I have no issue giving animes like that chance, but I feel like I definitely maybe called this one a little too soon. So at this point, go ahead and put like spoilers. Spoiler territory, stay out. Don't climb the fence. Spoilers. Spoilers. You've been sufficiently warned. If you stay past this point, you are accepting the terms and conditions of spoilers.
Yes.
So, episode 1 is literally the core of where we meet our main character, but not immediately. Sort of.
Somewhat.
Like, okay, so I'll kind of just like quickly sum up episodes 1 through 2. 1 through 2. 1 and 2.
Because 1 and 2 work best together. So when I rewatched it, and Chris had mentioned that he had attempted to watch 1 and then stopped, I realized that if you only watch episode 1, there's not much going on. So I felt bad that's what you tried to watch, because I didn't realize how well 1 and 2 go together, and you kind of need 1 and 2 in order to really set up the show. Like 1 and 2, like I feel like it's one of those scenarios where if it was like on Prime like TV or like cable or something, they could have done like a 1 hour like, you know, season premiere or series premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
And that probably would have been the best way to go about it, because episode 1 definitely, like, it needs to be watched at least with episode 2 in order to be a really satisfying like beginning.
Oh yeah, because it leaves off in such a way that nothing was actually established.
You just kind of have Midoriya being like the butt of the entire like day and everyone's joke and everything. It's basically just Midoriya getting like, you know, put down by everybody until the end of the episode.
Right? Because it's literally just basically as a summary of episode 1 is basically like you just see his like school classmate Bakugo, who also goes by Kachan,
who also goes by Katsuki. I think that's how it's pronounced.
I think it's Katsuki.
Katsuki.
Yeah.
Everyone has 3 names in this show. So
it's very strange, but I'm picking up on it very quickly. Actually. Yeah. It's very abnormal,
because they always switch. They always like
it's like these people know him by this name, but these people know him by that name.
They do.
Like Midoriya will call him Kachan, whereas like the other classmates will be like Bakugo.
But then sometimes we go by Katsuki or something, and then it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's just like, oof, oh boy. But it's like the gist of the episode is that it shows off the like heroes at the beginning, and they beat up that beast guy. Mm-hmm. And you have was it Mount Lady?
Oh yeah, Mount Lady. You had the guy who was like the forest, like the tree kind of guy. Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
I remember Mount Lady.
Everybody remembers.
Everyone remembers.
She can become gigantic.
Yeah, she's like the 50-foot Attack of the 50-foot woman.
Yeah. It's such like a cliche trope, but it's like it's one of the cool cliche tropes.
Right.
You know, giant being able to grow reverse Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like
well, it's Ant-Man when he has the capability to like be big.
Yeah, be big.
He's a big boy.
So it's like they beat up the villain, and you see Midoriya is just like watching them, and he's just like, oh my god, and he's taking his notes and all these things. And you just see like he is such like a fanboy.
Which I wanted to ask you how you felt about it, because I mean, like, it's definitely one of his like the traits of his, and I mean, like, it's something that kind of like goes throughout the show and sometimes works to his advantage. So I was wondering how you felt about him.
Trust me, I like as far as all that I've watched, I think the fanboy thing is, no pun intended, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it is such like a believable thing, and like for anyone to do, like any comic book fan that like knows Superman and Spider-Man, it's like, you know, like their powers and what they do and what makes like their weaknesses and their fighting styles and stuff. Yeah. Just because you like know them and you're interested, and he's like the same thing. So it's like, that's such a natural way for a person to be, I would think, in a world full of superhero people. Mm-hmm.
Like I just it was fun because I could kind of relate to just being that like nerdy kid who like knows anything and everything about superheroes. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know, I saw that and I was like, you know what, that would make sense. I guess if it was a world full of superheroes, like, yeah, we would probably be like that. We would be like, oh yeah, like, who's your favorite? And like have all these like, yeah, we know them off the top of our head, like what their weakness and their big adventures and whatnot.
I think it's awesome, and I like that characteristic about him. And then you end up seeing like the little versions of Midoriya and Kachan, and he is such an asshole all the time as a kid, and Midoriya's just trying to be a good guy. He's like, don't hurt, you know.
Yeah, don't hurt this kid.
Right.
That's the running theme of the show. Kachan is an asshole.
And so, the the reason this episode, specifically, I had kind of stopped afterwards. The first thing was, and it's not a major thing, it's the animation. In certain moments. Like, overall, it's very visually nice, and it's very smooth. But it's like some of the very overly anime.
Some of the
drawings.
very anime moments where they like break, or it's just like like, you know, like, or they like, or something I forgot. Midoriya like screams a lot in the first couple episodes. And I mean, like, okay, it makes sense. He's a nerdy kid. He's
And the
kind of like a
events of
very
the first episode.
nerdy, normal kid. These crazy things keep happening, but like, yeah, definitely, it's a little, especially in the beginning, it's a little crazy. Like over time, he's not. I mean, you saw the first 7. Like, he gets a little bit better, and like throughout the show, he's not like constantly screaming.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which, as a side note, happens quite a lot in Black Clover.
really,
Yes, but, you know, we may end up watching that for the show down the road.
yeah,
But, so, in this episode, that was the first thing that kind of threw me off, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can just push past it, because I've seen weird fucking animations in anime too before. So, that was fine. I think the thing that, like, broke me was the fucking slime guy that
oh
shows
my
up.
god, the slime guy. So this is after Midoriya has gone through an entire day at school of just everyone like just shitting on him.
Yeah, just
Kacchan Kacchan told him to go kill himself. Like, he told him to swan dive off the building. Like, just this horrible day.
Just
And
treating
then
him like shit, and Midoriya's just like, I want to be a hero, and he's just like, no, are you trying to compete and all that crap?
and then all his classmates laughing at him. So he just had this horrible day. And then, yeah, Chris, go ahead and tell us the sequence that follows.
God, it was so gross. Like that was I've never been so rapidly put off in a moment than I have been when the slime guy came after Midoriya.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it was so hard to watch, especially the things like trying to steal his body. And he's just like shoving himself down his throat, and Midoriya is just like slowly gagging and dying, and it's just like the scene goes on for way longer than I think it really should.
Yeah, I will say, like, I completely forgot that scene happened, and then when I rewatched it, yeah, I felt the same way. I felt this just like, oh my god, like, what is happening right now?
Like, you know,
and it's funny because I don't think the show does anything that uncomfortable, not to that level. Like, the show goes in certain places like later down the road, but not like that. Like, there was a level to that where it's just like no.
like, oof. And I think it might have just been them trying to establish just like, this is just how bad some of the villains actually get.
And this is also how weak Midori is right now. Not that he's weak, but he's just being ordinary without a quirk or anything. Like,
this is just how dangerous this world is without like a quirk, which is, by the way, the name of the powers that
yes,
everybody
the
gets.
superpowers are called quirks in this.
Yeah, and so yeah, the episode kind of touches on that briefly too. It cuts away into like this baby being born. It's like glowing. And
where the quirks kind of started.
And then it was like, that was the first quirk officially, and then after that they started
like
popping up everywhere,
more and more, to the point where now 80% of the global population has quirks.
right? Which is just a fucking shaft for Midoriya.
Yeah,
like, his life's already bad enough, and then 80% of the world has a quirk, and he's just like,
he's in that 20.
right? He's like, not me.
Which that I don't know. Like, that's just. It's interesting, the idea, because we watched like Marvel, we watched DC, where it's like, okay, you have these specific individuals that have powers, but this is like, no. The majority of the world has superpowers of varying quality. Like, some are super good, like, powers, and then others are like, I don't know, like, their body looks a little different, or like they can make water like flowed some way. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes it's like a little like, but
Yeah, like there's some, like that's the thing. It's like they're all varying things between like sort of abilities and powers and changes, like, you know, which is interesting. And the show does a very good job at displaying the diversity of that kind of thing. Like, you know, not everyone has like fucking flamethrower hands and fucking
well, that's what
super strength.
That's what Midori even says in the beginning. He says like the sad truth is that not all men are created equal, or something along those lines. Like.
Yeah, and I mean the quirk is like the biggest way of showing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the fucking slime dude is doing his thing.
He's doing his thing.
And I powered through that scene because and I didn't skip anything, I didn't fast forward nothing. I watched it like a big old man, and I watched it like an adult, and I made it through, and it was hard, but I did it. And
I just think every once in a while, like there's like a show we watch, or a show that you have to watch, and it just throws a curveball at you. It throws like something, and it's just like, man, I don't want to skip it, but man, this is just, it's brutal and hard to watch. It's like I'm gonna power through it, but I'm not gonna like it.
Right, just reminds me of the fucking shit about fucking Goblin Slayer.
Oh my god, don't even bring up Goblin Slayer.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I mean,
God, it looks nice.
It does, yeah.
I've heard it's very intense.
I mean, when it came out, yeah, everyone was saying how intense it was.
Yeah. I literally know nothing of it other than like the dude that wears armor. And I'm assuming he is the Goblin Slayer.
He is the Goblin Slayer.
Like, he's on the fucking cover or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's as far as I know, and it's just like...
Yeah. But hey, I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe we'll watch it or something.
We're never gonna want to watch it.
But no, like, we'll put it on the thing, and we'll be like, oh, like... what are we gonna watch?
Oh yeah, the mystery box of like what's the next anime?
It's like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
I think that'd be funny.
Oh god, no, wouldn't that be hell?
It would.
It'd be the worst.
But that's the funny part. We gotta get the viewership.
Oh my god.
But anyways,
so yes, slime thing. As like second, this dude is like blacking out from this slime guy is literally going to kill him at this point. And like just as he's blacking out, fucking the big man himself shows up.
The big man, Mr.
All Might.
Mr. All Might himself. Which I do want to ask, like, just really briefly at this point, I do want to ask, for the show, did you watch the dub or the sub, or did you try both?
I sampled with a little bit of both, just to get a feeling for it, because I feel like I've mentioned this before on the Jump Force video.
We talked about it on the Jump Force a little bit,
but it's like there are some animes that I have to watch dubbed or subbed, just because of the voice acting.
Yeah,
because. Like I said, the voices have to like fit the character to me, in my mind.
Yeah.
Like some people love the dubs of shows that I don't really like the dubs of, but then I like the dubs of a lot of shows that people are like the sub is the best.
Right.
So it's like it's again personal preference. So like I have to do both, at first just to like feel out where it's gonna go. So for My Hero, I figured since we're going this deep in, it's like, I might as well watch both just to see. And surprisingly, I didn't dislike either of them. Like I ended up attaching to the sub, just because I don't know, it was the way that the characters were portrayed with the voices that just resonated more.
Yeah.
But the dub I thought was actually pretty good.
So that's the thing. So I think I mentioned it too on the Jump Force video. It's one of those very rare cases where I don't mind either of them. I've had to, I go to the dub, but I've had to switch over to the sub either because the dub isn't caught up or the dub isn't available yet, but the sub is there, so I switch over to the sub. And for the most part, it's totally fine. Like, I think they actually match the characters really well in both versions.
Yeah, but surprisingly, I wasn't expecting it.
Exactly, and it was really well done. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up was because for the dub, the voice of All Might is...
Of course.
It's Mr... Is it Chris or Christopher?
He goes by both. So I'm assuming... people know him as Christopher.
Okay, so it's Mr. Christopher Sabat. For those of you anime connoisseurs, he is the voice of Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z. One of me and Chris's favorite animes. So naturally, I was like, "Oh, I wonder what he's gonna think hearing Vegeta over here being like the number one superhero and everything."
Right. The voice of the edgiest edgelord of space.
Edgelord and like the Saiyan pride. But I really like his work in the dub. I really like the one who does the sub as well. But I don't know, something about like the dub. It's just like I like hearing that voice with All Might. But I wanted to know what you thought. Yeah,
it's quirky and it's he actually fits pretty well for the character.
Yeah,
and it is kind of a funny parallel with his other voice acting roles.
Yeah,
specifically Vegeta being like such a polar opposite to All Might.
Exactly, and it's funny. I'll say this before we keep moving forward, but I do want to say this is that later on in season 1, there's a moment where he is talking about Kacchan, but it's really funny because he's talking about how Kacchan is super talented, but his pride is too much, and his pride will probably be the end of him. And it's just funny hearing Vegeta's voice actor, of all voice actors, talking about this character having too much pride and everything. It's just like... I don't know. I remember I watched it and I had a good laugh about that. I was like, "That's good."
Fantastic.
Like we've come full circle.
We done it. And it's he does a great job, and it's really funny. And okay. So I was watching it, and they don't explicitly state it, but All Might is American.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I figured. I'm like, he came over...
because his moves and everything. Like,
well, the thing is, up until episode... Like, in the early episodes, you don't really get his moves so much. And then, obviously, he's speaking fluent Japanese, and everyone else is Japanese.
Yeah.
And he's here, and it's just like... They don't state it. I put it together, obviously.
Yeah, they do say explicitly somewhere. I don't remember what episode it was, but there was an episode where the America was mentioned, and I was like, okay, there we go. I forget which one it was, but there was something mentioned of him being from America.
But yeah, All Might swings in as Midoriya is blacking out.
He does it like in one move too. Like he takes out the dude.
It's a one shot. Dude just like flies in and just like butcha and just like obliterates. And then it cuts to black because Midoriya straight up blacked out.
Yep.
But then he wakes up and he sees All Might there, and he's just like, all of his fanboy like nerves are tingling.
Exactly.
And he's like, it's my number one.
Like
I love you.
Yeah. And then he's like, all right, gotta go, bye.
Right. And then I think it's so funny that he grabbed onto All Might when All Might went to leave to take the villain away.
Oh, yeah. My favorite part, and I completely forgot about it until rewatching it, my favorite part where he's like, let go, get off me. And he's like, no, if I let go, I'll die. And then All Might stops, and he's like, oh, you have a point there. And it just keeps going. It's just like, literally, he stops everything. He's like, oh, you're right.
Right. Like,
this dude's flying above skyscrapers and everything, and it's like, yeah, you would probably kill this small child.
Oh man, but I feel like that, I feel like eventually somebody with that kind of power would think that way, like so used to being so invincible that it's just like, oh, I forget that you other people are not as invincible.
I forget that you people without powers exist.
So yeah, they obviously eventually they land, and then the twist being that Midoriya sees the true
All Might in his normal
All
form.
Might. And that was super jarring.
Yeah, because he becomes this like almost skeleton, like just scrawny figure.
He does, and his face drawing was really weirded me out the first time I watched it.
Because his eyes are all like sunken in.
His eyes are sunken in. His face is just like a mouth.
Yeah.
And it's all very angled, but his head's still big, but his neck is tiny.
Yeah,
It's like
weird.
what happened to you?
It's really weird, and then you learn that is actually like what he looks like and like his like origins and whatnot. It's just like,
Yeah, and
oh, okay.
and then Midoriya asks him if he can be a hero.
And then he All Might just gives him the big old no.
You know what, kid? No, you're not good enough.
Well, I mean, like, because he says, he keeps it real, basically, just saying, like, you know, people,
yeah, 'cause
like, people without quirks, like, you know, they can do things like police officer, like, those do really good, but if you're not gonna have a quirk, like, you're not gonna make it very far, and, like, it's just really sad, because, again, Midoriya's just had this whole bad day and everything, and then
One thing he wants is to be a hero.
and then we get the whole flashback of, like, him finding out he's not gonna have a quirk, and him asking his mom if his mom can, like, thinks that he'll be a hero, and her basically just breaking down in tears, basically saying, I'm sorry, like, you can't be a hero, and it's a whole thing, and then him finally hearing this, and it's like, oh my god. It's sad. This poor kid, like, he gets shit on the whole intro episode, like, episode 1, it's no good, and then
And it's just like the shittiest end to his day, meeting his hero, and his
Yeah.
hero just being like, no.
no.
But then episode 2 comes in.
Well, I mean, it happens technically it happens in the beginning of episode 2,
Yeah,
but
it's
episode 1 and 2, just watch them together, like, it goes together.
That's what I mean. Like, it's a weird, like, it makes sense, but it's an unnecessary cut.
Yeah,
in between.
It is. Because episode 1 literally ends with him asking if he can be a hero, and then All Might just turns, and then that's where it ends. It's like, no, don't do that. You should have just done just the whole premiere together.
And then for episode 2, the gist is essentially the return of Slime Guy.
Yes, Slime Guy returns.
And I'm just like, oh god,
No.
Jesus.
But basically, All Might dropped him when he was trying to hold on to Midoriya, and so the Slime Guy got out. And after All Might and Midoriya have that conversation, All Might realizes, he's like, oh shit, I left him behind somewhere, like, that's not good.
Like, oh shit, I fucked up.
And then there's like an explosion somewhere, and they're both just like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Just like that cartoon moment of, like, they look at each other like, uh-oh.
Whoa.
And they go over and they like, episode 2, I feel like is very, not a whole lot happens, but things happen that mean something.
Yes. Like, well, I mean, that's basically episodes 1 and 2, but especially 2, like, things happen that are gonna have echoes, like, through the rest of the show, or at least the beginning of the, show.
Yeah. And like, the big thing, basically, the Slime Guy ends up actually getting Kachan.
Yes.
The fucking Kachan.
Which, at this point, we're all kind of like, if he dies, he dies.
I know, like, the amount of times that you see Bakugo Kachan just exist. He is just the biggest asshole. And most of the time for no reason.
And we're gonna discuss more of that, like, because we're gonna have to get through the other episodes.
Oh,
but,
this
like,
is just episode 2.
This is episode 2.
And so,
it's so funny, and especially having revisited it, I was watching. It's like, man, yeah, he was like this, wasn't he? Like,
he's such a fucking dick.
he is.
Like, yeah.
He is. We'll keep moving, but yeah, this is gonna be a running theme. So he's basically, the Slime Monster has him. But Kachan actually is doing a decent job of fighting for himself, like trying his best to. He lasts a lot longer than Midoriya did.
Yeah.
And but it's no use, and like all the other pro heroes are there trying to make it work, but because Kacchan is trying to blow everything up, it's also setting things on fire, and like, the heroes have to take care of that as well as the slime monster.
Yeah, it's just all making things worse.
And then what ends up happening is Midoriya ends up actually running in there to try and save him.
Yep, because All Might is just standing there kind of baffled.
Well, because All Might at this point, because of how his powers are, we didn't mention this, but All Might's powers are basically decaying. Like he's becoming like, I don't know if it's older or whatever, but basically he's running out of power. Like he ends up needing to like recharge after a while, and so when he turned into his normal form, his powers went on recharge mode. So when all of this is happening, he's in his like scrawny little form, and he can't turn into big boy All Might for right now. So he's feeling powerless.
Midoriya didn't care. Midoriya's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, which is I'm gonna go help him.
Yeah, and
even though he's a dick and doesn't deserve it.
Oh no, he totally doesn't deserve it. But Midoriya still does it. He actually does a decent job, like distracting the slime monster and trying to like get him out just long enough to then All Might does come out in his big boy form.
He's like, yeah.
And then he finishes the job that he started.
He smashes.
Yes, he does the good old Detroit smash.
Right. Which is so visually impressive.
Yes.
On how nuts that is. And as you would assume, Bakugo is definitely not going to be happy, particularly with Midoriya saving him.
And it's funny because then later on, like Midoriya's minding his own business, and Kacchan comes up and he's like, "Hey, you stupid idiot! I didn't need your help." And it's just like just stop, just stop.
It's like you're angry, you're mad at your dad, not at me. I forgive you.
Like literally, and it's funny because literally after, you know, they get saved, the slime monster's taken away, everything. Like, everyone, like, still shits on Midoriya. They're like, no, you shouldn't have go in there. You could have risked everything. But then people are talking nice about Kacchan and his power, and it's just like, you know what? Like, okay, like, whatever.
Fuck you guys.
It's fuck you.
Right, and then, that basically is what leads through episode 2.
Well,
I know. Except at the end, the prime moment when All Might talks to Midoriya again. He remembers. Obviously, he was there. He saw what Midoriya did, and he was basically. He told him, he's like, you know what? You could be a hero. You have what it takes. In like his soul.
And it's this big moment because, like, it's just the first time that Midoriya's finally heard someone be like, you can be a hero. And
because even his mom
was
like, no.
Well, I mean, she was saying, like, more like, I'm sorry, like, you can't, like, but she wasn't, like, straight up just no.
Well, of course.
But it was still, like, it was the first time, and it was just this really big moment, and All Might basically says, you can have my powers.
Yep. So from his hero, he heard that he could be a hero, and that he is going to pass down his power to Midoriya.
Yes.
And Midoriya is like, he's like, thank you, and then he's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, he's like,
which then leads into episode 3.
Yep. And everyone, and it's just like, what do you mean? What does pass down mean?
And then it's basically revealed what the nature of All Might's power is, which I had forgotten was a big mystery up until that point. Like, the world didn't exactly know what his quirk was. Like, I forgot about that. I just figured it was like, oh, it's one for all. But no, like, no one actually knew what it was. Like, people had been speculating, and, like, Midoriya had been on, like, forums and even was watching it, and then it's all of a sudden now this is how it is, and the whole nature of it being able to be passed on, it's like that pulls into question like what even the quirk is, and what the very nature of what All Might's quirk even is.
Exactly.
Which spoiler alert, we still don't know exactly by the end of season 4. I will say it is teased that we're gonna learn about it, but we still don't know much more.
Because the thing is, it is he explains that he's gonna pass it down. Mm-hmm. But then he also he makes it a point to tell him, it's like, you know, I don't talk about it and no one knows, because it's trying to kind of maintain that image of being the grand hero.
Exactly.
And if they kind of knew that this is the way it worked, it would kind of not ruin his image, because he wasn't worried about that. It's kind of the public's image and the feeling of like their safety with All Might existing.
And also the fact that villains out there would then learn how to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he explains this to Midori, and he's like, and with that, you know, it was passed down to me, just like I can pass it down. And he's just like, I was looking for a successor. And you
here
won.
you are. You've won the prize.
And Midori's like, okay.
He's like, okay.
And then All Might's like, but not yet.
You have to train now, because your body has to handle it.
This will like he literally, he tells him, he's like, if I were to give you my power now, your body would literally explode.
Yes.
He's like, your arms and legs and your head would pop off because it's too much to handle. And Midori is like, so what am I supposed to do? And he's like, don't you worry, kid.
And then we jump to basically, what is it, 10 months of just him
10 months of training. And the
training.
training is him being dragged to the beach that is just covered in shit tons of trash that just washes up on shore, and then other people just dump their trash there because it's already trashy. And so it's just
It's like a junkyard,
it's this
like
whole
scraps.
coastline. It's an entire coastline that's just fucked up with like refrigerators and tires and garbage. And All Might's like, this is where we're gonna start. You're gonna clean up the whole thing by yourself.
He says a specific area of it to clean.
Yeah,
But then he does end up actually doing the entire beach, and it's like, whoa!
because it's like, you're gonna clean up this section so you can see the ocean,
Yes.
make the view nice and everything.
on top of that, it's other like training stuff too, like the way he has to like eat, way he has to live and like sleep. Like it's a whole basically like a program that he puts him in.
The whole thing is insane, and honestly makes me want to know, because Core 4 challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, we can't just do the One Punch Man like routine. Like no, we got to do the All Might routine.
All Might, and then the One Punch afterwards.
Afterwards,
And it's gonna be called Core 4 Swole.
Core 4 Soul.
So no, like he shows how messed up in his end. He also still has to go to school.
Yes.
So he has this very specific routine that he has to stick to on top of studying and classes. And it's just like, it's exhausting thinking about.
Oh yeah.
But in like, you know, obviously we watch him try to do the cleaning, and I can't imagine how he did it. Like, he's like lifting the tires, and he's just like struggling with that. And there's like the full-on fridges and shit that he just can't actually move, but he's trying. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, eventually he gets yelled at by All Might because he's so tired. And he's like, you haven't been keeping to the schedule, have you? And Midori's like,
That's literally the dub.
and he's like, you're gonna die if you keep doing this. Like, this is not this is very specific for a reason. And then the goddamn moment comes where All Might fucking comes back to the coast, and the whole thing is clean.
Even he's just like impressed.
Like, it is spotless. And
Yeah.
he's like, not only did he clean the spot that I told him to, but he cleaned the entire beach. And it's
Wow.
And there's just like this one little pile of trash still there that Midoriya is standing on, and he's screaming out into space.
And then All Might says, "All right, you can have the power."
Right, and Midoriya, which in the sub, that scream actually wasn't as annoying to listen to. Not that it was in the dub.
Yeah.
But like, it was like a good victory scream rather than like a screech.
Yeah.
So like, literally seeing him just standing up there, and he's just like shouting because he fucking did it, and he busted his ass to do it, and it was so much work. And then he literally, All Might's like, I'm impressed. This is insane. And then he's just like, you see like the physical form of Midoriya is just like the dude is like jacked a little bit now.
Yeah.
And he was like super scrawny. And I love that All Might shows him a picture on his phone of what he was 10 months ago. And it's just him on the ground crying. And he's like, no.
No.
And he's like, see this? This was you.
Now look at you.
Worthless little. It's like, now look at you. And Midoriya's just like, yeah. And he's like, now you can, I think you'll be able to handle my power. And he's just like, yeah, I'm totally ready. And then All Might plucks one of his hairs out and he's like, eat it.
Eat this hair.
Midoriya's like, what?
What?
He's like, this is weird. This is weird. I don't like it. And then it like cuts away. He goes back to school and everything.
Well, because he goes to the
Test.
the tryouts for UA. And that's like the whole thing is that he's training up for this, and like he does the hair thing, and it's like the day of.
Yep, and
it's like, all right, go get him, champ.
And then he's like, and then he literally makes the statement as he's like, oh, he's like, I didn't even get to test out what this quirk even is. Like, I don't know what it even does. So it's like, oh, geez. And then the cool like starting moment for his, that's symbolic to his new life, is he fucking trips and he's about to like fucking eat shit on the ground, face first, but he gets stopped and he's like floating, and it turns out like this little girl is there with him that like she just like touched him and then he floated, and he's like panicking.
Oh yeah, this is where it was also relatable. Just panicking at the thought of talking to a girl, just like. But yeah.
Yeah, and so literally he sets up, and like I love that there was the point in the animation he's like, I talked to a girl, but it's like not actually talked.
Yeah.
Because he didn't say anything. He's just like, he's just like staring, and she's talking.
Meanwhile, like, I forget, is it Uraraka? If that's her name. It's always her name is always the one I always forget how to pronounce, but she's just this sweet little thing to him, and then he's like,
Uraraka.
Uraraka, or Ochiko.
Ochiko.
Or cute girl. I don't know.
Or my wife.
My wife. that would be what he would call her. But yeah, no, so they both go in. It's the big, like, basically tryouts for UA, the giant like hero academy, where the big boys go.
That's right.
And basically they're just kind of thrown into the test. Like they get explained how to do it. It's basically take out the robots, get all the points, and
So yeah, it's like a huge fake city, which is already impressive enough.
Yeah,
like because it's like to scale.
Spoiler alert: it's not the only fake city that this school is able to afford.
Somehow, on the small islands of Japan, they have enough free space to build gigantic cities to then just destroy.
Yes,
incredible. Who's funding this?
Exactly. It's like, who?
But yeah, so this is these crazy ass, like, giant buildings, and they're basically showing these different robots that are going to simulate villains in this test. Mm-hmm. And the idea is they're going to use their quirks and everything that they can to collect as many points in this exam. And different robots are worth different points, and then there's like the gigantic one that acts as like a blockade.
Yeah, like, the one that's like, that gets you 0 points. You just kind of have to avoid that one. Yeah, because it's supposed to be like, all right, like pick your. It's supposed to like teach you how to like pick your own fights, basically.
Yeah, it's be like it's not worth it for you to go mess with it.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be beyond most,
which is, like, looking back at it, that is actually a really smart like thing to kind of teach the kids. It's like, you need to know that you can't just fight every living like villain there. Like, sometimes you are gonna have to run and just
like you can't beat your head against it and hope you win every time. And so like it sucks for Midoriya because he's not sure how to use the quirk really.
He doesn't, and we will learn what exactly it does, but he doesn't know how to do it. So everyone's like getting all these points, everyone's fighting all these robots. You have Bakugo there who's just kicking ass.
Like he's him and what was the guy's name? Ueda?
Oh, Ida, not yeah, it's Ida.
Well, in the sub, it's Lita.
Tenya is the Ida. Tenya, the boy with like the glasses.
It might be
very
Ida.
like the,
It might be Ida. I think the subtitle put an L.
Okay,
But
I mean,
anyway,
yeah,
I believe you.
yeah,
You know more about this than I do. But yeah, you're right. Everyone's going around collecting points rapidly, and
Yeah.
and fucking Midoriya's just like, oh, what do I do? I don't know what to do right now.
hell,
And it's just like they're like kicking ass. Like even the nice girl that saved him from falling is just like she's collecting points.
Yeah.
And she's got like 20 or 40 or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like, wow. And so everyone's getting points, and he's like, I'm at 0.
hell.
What am I supposed to do? He's like, if I can just get like some points. And he's looking around, there's no robots, and everyone else is just like kicking ass. And then, the giant one like rolls around the
Giant
corner.
blockade one, and like everyone's running.
Everyone just straight up panics.
and
he
Midoriya
runs.
is just like kind of frozen in fear.
Oh yeah, he's frozen. He's staring at it. He's like, that's big.
Even Tenya's like looking at him like, get out of here.
Yeah, because like you look at it, it's literally the size of the skyscrapers that are there. Like
Yeah.
this is a giant robot.
Yeah.
This is like hundreds of feet tall. So he's like shot. He's like on the floor. Everything's crushed, falling around him. Like he's probably gonna die.
Yeah.
And he looks and he sees the cute girl
Yeah,
that saved him.
Oshiko. She's stuck.
Right, and we don't know her name yet. We just know she's cute.
Yeah.
And Midoriya is blushing when she's around.
Yeah, but she's trapped under like something. And
She's trapped under like a bunch of rubble, and he's like, oh my god, I gotta go save her.
It's like, I don't know, I guess she could just die during the test. Like the school would be like, oh, well, sucks to suck. Guess you're dead.
But Midoriya is not that kind of guy. He's like, no, I risk myself for the greater good.
Yeah. And
Just like he did against for Bakugo and the slime guy. Even though Midoriya got his ass handed to him by the slime guy the first time, he still ran in there to help Kachan.
Yeah. And
So-
so in this case, he uses his quirk for the first time, and it's I forgot how
doozy.
I forgot how big of a moment it was, because he runs and then he uses the quirk in his feet to jump
Yep.
up to the like level of the robot, and then he uses the power in like one of his arms to deliver the biggest punch he could possibly do.
Yep, he runs forward. He puts the power of one for all, and he puts it into both of his legs.
Yes.
He pushes off with both feet, and it is like a rocket jump. He shoots into the fucking sky, and then he gets close to the robot, and everyone else is watching like, what? He
Yeah.
can jump that high? And Bakugo is just like, this son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, no, that's not the last time either, but
Right, and you see Midoriya like winds up the punch, and the animation for One for All is pretty cool. When
it's
the way it like
insane.
flows over his body.
every time One for All does something in the show, the animation cranks it. Like sometimes it cranks a little bit, and then other times just maximum overdrive.
It's like, here's the budget, put it in that.
Put it.
And
Not that the show is cheap or anything, but it's just, oh yeah, no,
you-
the animation's great, but then One for All comes in and it's like,
Oh yeah, I mean, like anyone that knows anime, when you get to like the hype battles or moments, they pump like extra resources into making those scenes like really fucking good looking.
exactly.
So you just see Midoriya the first time he's using this quirk, and he winds up this punch, and he just straight up punches this fucking 0-point robot
This giant mecha like robot.
in the fucking head, and it wrecks this thing. Its head just straight up fucking crushes.
This
and
robot just
explodes.
disappears, like it just like blasts into oblivion.
Oh yeah, the explosion just goes down its entire body, and the whole thing just like erupts.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he fucking just one-shot this gigantic robot.
And it's fucking amazing. Like, everyone saw it. It was just
Everyone's like,
holy
oh my
shit.
god. And then Midoriya is falling, and his legs are just like jelly.
Yeah, because
and they're just like flapping around.
Because that's the big cost of One for All, and especially the fact that All Might, All Might didn't really teach him how to use it. Midoriya now has wrecked himself using it, so both of his legs from jumping are just destroyed, and his
they are
arm
fully shattered. Like,
and then his arm as well. So he just has one working arm, and he's falling from the sky about to hit concrete. And it was funny because he's like, I'll just use my other arm to try and break the fall. It's like, Midoriya, you would die.
oh yeah, he thought he's thinking it out as he's falling because he's got plenty of time apparently.
Yeah.
And so he's literally like, the only thing I can think of doing is just before I hit the ground, if I put One for All into my arm and I punch the ground, that'll break my fall because it'll meet with like equal force. And while that's if it wasn't gonna straight up obliterate him, that's actually a pretty smart move.
Yeah.
Because, he's a smart kid. That makes sense. Problem is, he would probably destroy every part of his body. That's left.
Literally, at that point, he would have no limbs.
Right? And it's just like literally, and they do a good job of illustrating the fucking damage on him. So whenever obviously the first time he used it, but like his arm is just completely red and just like fucked up.
Yeah.
And his legs are just like squiggles at this point.
Just like flopping around.
Right? And he's falling, and like he's about to like plummet into the ground at fucking top
Mach
speed.
5, like
he's dead. Like he not only is coming out of this exam with 0 points,
but he's also just dead.
Right? And just before he impacts though, the cute girl goes out and saves him.
Yes, and
it was the funniest way she did it because she climbed on the robot that she had, and he's falling, and she straight up just like slaps him in the sky.
Because she has to touch a person to make them float, or she has to touch a thing to make it float. So she does this like smack.
Because it's like right on his face. Too.
Yeah.
It's just the funniest thing.
It was super funny.
And he's like, oh my god, I'm alive.
Just barely. And then the test runs out, and he's like, well, shit, I didn't get a single.
Because he's like looking around, he's like, okay, is there any points? Because he's looking around, because he's just laying on the ground.
With one arm. One working arm.
He's like, if I can just get 1 point. And he's like trying to army crawl around. And it's just like...
And then he goes, Burr.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, bro.
Sorry.
And he's just like dreams crushed. As his legs are crushed with his arm.
He's just like, oh no.
But then we meet the nice nurse lady.
Yeah, what was her name? Nurse Grandma or something like that.
Did I write her name down? I feel like I did.
She pops up a couple times in the first season, but it was like, I forget.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I did not actually write her name. I thought I wrote her name down. Well,
shit.
Well, crap.
The nice nurse lady with
She's like this super old lady. She's like Yoda's height.
Yeah, but her power is to heal.
Oh, it's amazing. She comes out and she straight up just like kisses this dude. She kisses Midoriya, which is the funniest way that this even works.
Yeah.
And his legs and arm are just like boop, all better.
Yeah, and it's actually super cool. Like that's a cool idea to have like the nurse like have like this instant heal power. Like that was cool.
And down the road, they actually in a later episode, which we'll cover, they actually explain how her power technically works, which I thought was actually pretty interesting.
Right.
Because I don't know. I always like it when they kind of elaborate on things instead of just like, this does this because we say it does.
Right.
You know?
No, exactly. I mean, the beginning of the show kind of does that, but they definitely do elaborate on certain things, and then they elaborate on them later on.
Right. And, so I look forward to many more of that.
Yeah.
But, so the test ends, and he has 0 points. He failed the test. Straight up, he failed the test.
Yeah.
And he did well on the written test. But balancing the two together, basically, he's not going to pass.
Right.
And so he basically leaves and is awaiting his letter saying whether he passed or not, like his grade. And so he's worried the whole time because
because at this point he's just like, well,
he's like,
shit.
he's like, I know I failed.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way, but like, I don't know. Then he gets the letter, or the thing in the mail. Which I don't think. Am I missing anything in between?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
He gets the letter, and he goes and hides in his room and stares at it for like an hour, and then he rips it open and it's a little hologram thing.
Little like video projection.
Right, and it's just like, and I love just All Might's face. He's like, "This is All Might, and I'm here as a projection."
Yeah, because All Might is going to be a teacher at the school, so he's doing these like...
Which he actually states in this actual hologram video.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm actually going to be at the academy as a teacher.
Well, and it's funny because he's like recording this, and at one point he's like, wait, how many of these do I have to do? And he's like, fine, I'll keep it, whatever. And so
he's like talking to Midori. He's like, wow, you're great, blah, blah, blah. And you just see the guy's hand come off screen. He's like, come on, let's go, wrap it up. He's like, what? You can't, he's like, get to the point. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And he's just like, whatever. Anyway, so he's basically like, I'm sure you got 0 points. You failed. And Midori is like, oh, is that what this whole letter was?
Yeah.
Just this big dramatic way of telling him he fucking failed and he's not getting in. Then All Might's like, but there was like a secret scoring system behind the scenes that nobody knew about, and that was the point.
And that was so that was the whole thing, was that Midoriya actually did get points based off the fact that he did save Ochiko, sticking out for her, and so you got a ton of points for like stuff like that, and so because of that, he actually passed the test.
Yes, the man, he got 0 points in the actual the defeating villains points specifically. He passed the test, the written test, and then he got the secret saving the lives, which all of the secret judges gave him 10 points, maximum points. So he came out with like 65 points in this, and which was like beyond most of the other people who defeated the villains.
Yeah.
So I think he came out like number 3.
Yeah.
Or something in this test, just point wise. And so he's just like, congratulations, you're accepted.
Welcome to the Hero Academia.
And he literally states it, and I'm like, oh, we got a title. He's like, this is your Hero Academia now. And I'm like, there it is. There it is, boys. We're going in.
There it is. We done it.
Man, that's just the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say, is that if you are on the, like, anyone who's, like, on the fence of watching the show, watch the first 3 episodes. That is the proper, like, beginning of the show, is the first 3 episodes.
Like, episode 3 is straight up hype. Like, that's literally... Realistically, I feel like they could have started the anime if they needed to. Not that they should change it, but if they needed to, they could start with episode 3.
1 and 2 is like... It's like Peter Parker's origins before he becomes Spider-Man, where he's like the nerd and no one likes him, and then he gets bit by the spider. 1 and 2 is basically that. It's setting up the show. It's setting up Midoriya. It sets up All Might, and it sets up basically where the show's going to go. Episode 3 then takes that and gets the wheel turning. Mm-hmm. It's like 1 and 2 builds the car, 3 gets the car going.
Yep, and 4 had me, like, just... I was so fucking happy with the way 4 was going. Episode 4.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, man. That's when I was, like, started to be, like, excited about watching the episodes of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said before, I abandoned the show at episode 1 way back when. And I didn't really think about it. And... as Danny had stated, I had seen a scene from later in the show out of context, and it gave kind of a different perspective on how the show actually goes, and then it got me thinking. And we talked about it, and that's where we're like, you know what?
Which I will say for sure we're gonna have to revisit this anyway when we do when you do finally get to that point. It's not too far in the show, but I mean, once we do get to it, that's gonna I do want to hear your thoughts, because the scene that you saw is a pretty major scene. I mean, it's a pretty major episode in the entire show, but like what you saw was just a snippet of it.
Oh, I'm sure, like the way that the scene played out, I'm like,
Yeah.
I felt the build up.
Do you think I should save, just for the sake of context, like what scene you saw?
No, this
No?
is gonna be a mystery for those of you listening.
Oh, we're gonna save it.
That's right. We're gonna talk about it when it's relevant, because we will not spoil. Because you may have seen these early episodes, but the scene that I have seen, you may not have seen this scene.
Exactly. And then you're probably gonna be thinking like, what was it? What could it possibly? What was the turning point? What was the scene that got you?
Exactly. What was it? Let me know in the comments below if you think you know.
I will say it was. I'm definitely glad it was this part. It wasn't just like. It wasn't just some like stupid like goofy scene, and then you're like, that's it. That I'm watching the show now.
Now I think unfortunately we may actually have to end this podcast episode here.
Really? Oh no.
I know.
Oh no.
I know. I really want to crank out more, which is why we're gonna do a part 2.
Yes,
of this one.
We got to do a part 2
because, the biggest thing was that these first 3 episodes were such a build up, and obviously we had to talk about that. So now this is established, the groundwork for not only the first 3 episodes of My Hero Academia, but also of this podcast and what to look forward to in the future going from there.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
I will. Okay. I will say this though. If we are going to conclude this episode, what are your final thoughts? At this point, since now you originally saw the first episode, you gave up on it, but now having given a second chance, and you have seen these 3 episodes, and then we'll talk about the other 4 episodes. But like, having seen these episodes, what are your final thoughts as of right now?
All right. Side note. Apologies. I do have to for having to run out of time as of right now on this episode, but we will get back to it.
We will.
Don't you
we
worry.
Will.
Sit tight. Before you know it. But my final thoughts, literally being, I still understand why I stopped watching the show. Like, it still makes sense to me. It wasn't. I am happy to know that it wasn't like I just missed something or I looked at it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, no, the first episode was just very weird to me, and it wasn't very engaging to me. But getting through that for the sake of being able to talk about it, being like, you're such a fan of this show, and I hear about it constantly, but I can't know anything about it.
Exactly.
And so, no, I super like the show, and I'm very interested on where it goes. And me being 7 episodes deep, officially, I am going to keep watching more, but we are going to talk about basically all of it.
Yes.
If it's a thing that you'd be interested in, I'm totally fine literally discussing 4 whole seasons of this show.
No, and that's the thing is like, and I think that's the thing is like, we're gonna, for certain of these anime shows, when we do the podcast, certain ones that we do, like, we're gonna have, like, depending on the length, obviously, like, you know, we're gonna have to do like a revisit episode or something, especially for Academia, because I think absolutely we should do a revisit, you know, for when you finish season 1, because there's a lot more that happens between now and the other 4 episodes that you've seen. But then between episode 7 where you finish and the end of the season, there's still a lot that goes down and a lot that happens.
Oh yeah.
So we gotta discuss that, and then of course, like, man, if we could do just a season 2, a season 3, and a season 4 like wrap up, like, because at this point, you know, it's for the podcast, but then it's also because I want to see what you think of certain parts of the show. Like,
No, and I think that's the interesting thing, and I sort of like an interesting goal of this podcast is not just for the sake of watching the show. You know, it's like you like the show. I've never seen the show. This is an interesting way to engage that show.
right.
Like, sort of, I don't want to say like a homework scenario, but it's like, you know, oh, watch these so you understand it, and then we'll talk about it. And through watching them, I'm actually more interested and now am attached to the show.
Yes.
So it's interesting, and I hope that happens with some of the other animes that we end up watching.
Oh yeah, like we've got a lot of ideas that we can do for it, and we're honestly, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I mean, like, you know, visiting animes that I have seen or just want to revisit, or some that I've never seen before. Like, man, like, there's a lot of potential here, and I think we've already said it, but I mean, like, me and Chris have wanted to do a podcast for a long time, as evidenced in some of our core 4 episodes, and so finally being able to do it and do it in a way that feels natural and is exciting like this, like,
Yeah, that's like fun and interesting and engaging, and not just for us, but for you guys who are actually watching it. You know, like maybe you never thought about watching My Hero Academia before.
yeah.
And, you know, part of me hopes that maybe after hearing this, you go dabble in it. You check
Seriously,
it out.
if you haven't watched Academia and are curious, please check it out. It's a show that's absolutely worth its hype. Get through watch the first 3 episodes for sure. Engage if you like it, and if you like it, it gets better.
Like for real.
But if you're not into it, it's totally understandable. It's all good. You are totally fine and safe. I will just hound you and yell at you for how you're wrong.
And just make references you won't understand.
Exactly. I will yell the references at you.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, if anything, like, I made that mistake. Like, I watched just episode 1 and I wrote this show off, and now it's like rewatching it and I'm like, what have I done?
Well, and it's funny because it's like, how long have I been referencing My Hero with you? Like,
A long time.
a long time. Like,
A long time.
it's been a while. Like, even before that Jump Force episode where I just went on a tangent about it. Like, because that was the one where you were like, okay, tell me what is so good about it.
Yeah, because I'm like, what is so good about this show that is made you so attached to it? Like,
Yeah.
what is the catch? You know, what am I not seeing?
Right.
Meanwhile, me who has only seen episode 1, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Well, and no, and
I
that's
don't get why you like it.
And that's the thing is, like, we're gonna watch this show. I'm gonna get you to the end of the show. I'm gonna get you caught up. We're gonna get to season 4 ending, and I'm gonna ask you your final thoughts of the whole show in general so far. And you're gonna look back at it and you're gonna be like, man, we have come a long way since episode 1 with the slime monster and everything.
Slime Magoo.
Like, you're gonna have a lot of thoughts. And I'm really excited to see that, not just absolutely with the show, but then also like other shows that we get into that we watch, like big or small shows, whatever we do, just we're excited.
Yeah, and for real. So, like Danny said at the beginning, we're gonna do this in kind of like not a direct alternating structure, but we're gonna have episodes that are focused around the animes, and then we're gonna also have episodes focused around other things.
Yeah,
Keep it interesting, and kind of give variety.
We'll kind of alternate it now as far as like with the anime episodes, like ones where we do specific shows or the revisit ones. We'll kind of determine, like, we'll kind of figure it out. I think at that point it'll just kind of be based on a case by case status. Like Academia, absolutely, we're gonna have to do a revisit, but then certain shows, maybe we don't really get into it, and it's a really long show, we'll probably not do a revisit. And then if we do, it'll depend on, well, how long the show is, how much farther we get. Like, it's all case by case. And that part for sure, we'll kind of figure it out as we go along. But
yeah, and if we end up watching something, you know, and we get to like a point, and we're like, we watched like 4 episodes of this, and we're like, this is what we thought of it so far. We're not sure if we're gonna return, and you're like, trust me, episode 7, man, that's where shit changes.
Yep.
It's like, you know, let us know, because clearly we don't know.
Clearly.
You know, we know a lot of everything,
yes.
but we don't know everything about everything.
Exactly.
And you can take that home.
Exactly.
As a Core 4 promise. We will know a lot about nothing and not a lot about everything.
There we go.
But for real, thank you guys for sticking around for this first
episode.
Yeah,
this first big old podcast.
That's right. The official the Spiral Off cast is now officially cast off.
Yes, the Spiral Off cast has begun. We can't wait to see you guys next time. We'll go ahead.
We're gonna post links to those videos that we did before that basically kind of slowly trickled in the official conception of what you've listened here today. Mm-hmm. Which is Journey, Jump Force, and our GTA video.
Yeah, the little pilot one.
Which, for the record, the GTA one, we actually talked about Skyrim, Fallout, and Spider-Man. Not actually anime. So if you're not too big into anime, but you like those games, or you're curious, go check that out.
And don't worry, we will be doing episodes like that one, where we don't just focus on anime.
Yep.
But you gotta stay tuned for that.
Exactly. Stick around. And like we said before, social media is literally the easiest way to reach us aside from the comments on these videos.
Yes.
Literally, comment down below. But if you don't want to do that, you know, go over to our Twitter. It is at twitter.com/real_core4. That is our Twitter. That is our official Twitter. We all have access to it. We all listen to it. We all watch it. We all read it. We all write it. So we'll read what you write to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So twitter.com/realcore4. Real_core4. The underscore is important because somebody out there decided to take the one without the underscore.
Yeah, don't tweet them.
Don't tweet
Shun them. Shun.
Go ahead and block them. Just so you don't accidentally, you know, give your love to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because we love you.
We love you.
But also we have an Instagram. So we also do the... Most of the stuff we put on Twitter, we also put on Instagram. So if you have a preference between the two... we have both. And if you have both, follow us on both.
Yeah.
You know, our Instagram is instagram.com/thecore4gaming. That's instagram.com/thecore4gaming. And we post pictures and funny memes and the dankest of culture on there. So,
and then of course we post sometimes when we have a new upload or whatever, you know, we'll keep it up to date on there.
Yeah, so Instagram and Twitter are the fastest way to actually keep up with the release of our content and to interact with us.
Yeah.
Also, the other fastest way to know about our content is to hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to be up to date. Subscribe.
Yeah, gotta slide that in there.
Yeah.
Yes, subscribe to the channel. Literally, we just want to be able to get the content to you guys as fast as possible. You know, watch it, check it out. Let us know as quickly as possible too, what you think of our videos and everything that we do. Because that's the best way to know if we're doing good stuff or we're doing bad stuff.
Exactly.
You know? If we're doing something that's not particularly entertaining or we could do it in a different way, constructive feedback is always the best.
Yeah, we're always open.
Exactly. So go ahead and subscribe. And there's that little bell icon next to it. And I know what you're thinking. What is that possibly for? So you should click that because it will actually send you a notification anytime we upload anything.
It's like the dinner bell that mom rings when you're out on the farm and it's supper time and the dinner's on the table. So you gotta ring the bell to let you know dinner is serving.
That's right, dinner serving. Get your daily serving of the Core 4 gaming and the Spiral Offcast.
Tonight's dish is a podcast. Tomorrow's dish, who knows? We gotta hit the bell. We'll ring the dinner bell and let you know.
That's right. Ring the dinner bell and stay hungry. You know, and yes. So, tell your friends, tell your family. Maybe not your mom. She might not like the content you're watching.
But if your mom's into anime, hey, show her the podcast.
Yeah, let her know we talk about cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, tell her to subscribe too.
Yeah.
Unless she doesn't like you watching these videos, which in case you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in big trouble.
Grounded.
Yeah, you watch out.
2 weeks.
You gotta delete your search history. We know what you did before this video.
Yeah. You think we don't know?
You think we don't know?
All right. So thank you guys for watching. We will go ahead and put up the decision of what the next anime we'll watch. We'll put it up at the very end of the cast.
Yeah, so we came up with like a quirky, fun little way to decide our next anime-based podcast ideas. So hopefully you guys like that because we think it was actually pretty fun.
We think it's a cool idea. So we'll probably keep that around, but we'll put that at the very end. So until next time, friends, stay safe, stay classy, take care, everybody. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
You know what to do.
Yeah, we will see you next time.
That's right. Stick around for the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, so this is the wheel, what are we calling this?
This is the Wheel of Fate.
The Wheel of Fate.
Until we get a proper name for just what this thing is going to do to us.
So this wheel has all sorts of anime titles on it. We basically picked ones that we thought would be fun for podcasts, talking about just anything and everything about it. Some of these ideas are interesting. Some of them are just a little crazy that we thought would
bizarre.
Be fun. Bizarro. So
yeah,
we're gonna leave it up to random fate to decide what we're gonna do for the next time we do a podcast.
Yes. So what this is basically we have all these lists. Most of these. Okay, so not most of these. A lot of these we actually haven't seen. A lot of these I haven't seen. Some Danny hasn't seen. And so what this is it's going to basically determine the next topic that we podcast about on the Spiral Offcast. So this is literally going to be what you get to look forward to. We are going to go watch these. We're going to watch several episodes, and then we are going to then talk about what we had seen.
Exactly.
And so, here, without further ado, Danny, please take us away.
All right. What Wheel of Fate, decide for us. What are we gonna watch next time?
What do we have?
Oh,
Goblin
shit! Oh shit! We called it. We called it in the podcast.
We literally spoke about this in this podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. There we go.
Fuck.
There we go. There it is.
Y'all out there know about Goblin Slayer?
All right, guys. Well, there it is.
There it is.
That's our next Spiral Offcast.
Yep.
Well, not the direct next episode, but the next time we do an anime focused one.
Yes.
Goblin Slayer.
And for the record, we will continue some series on the cast that we want to kind of continue on. So if it's like something like this one with My Hero Academia, if we go past the block of like the 7 episodes we decided on to cover, then we'll just keep going if we think it's interesting and fun to keep doing that. So it's not like we did the one video and then you'll never see us talk about this ever again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If it's something like a short one, then yeah, we'll probably just cover it. But yeah, if it's something like that, then yeah, we'll probably revisit it.
So, hot damn, we're starting off strong. Oh boy.
All
Goblin
right.
Slayer. Y'all keep an eye out because this is happening.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you in the next cast.
Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Goodbye.